What's up? What's up, people? I am back for another video. Today we are reviewing Twister, the first one, and I guess I'll announce this. I found out yesterday that Twisters is on the seas, so I can watch it. I'm gonna probably watch it tonight, and then either tonight, probably tomorrow. Actually, it'll probably be tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow actually. So sometime tomorrow, like in the morning or something, I will review Twisters. So I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'll probably put my quick thoughts on like Twitter and all that, and then we'll review it in the morning, tomorrow, because I do have work. So I just figured just to not try to do two videos, and I'll just do this one. And then tomorrow, probably after work, I will review Twisters, and then I'm gonna try later that night reviewing The Descent, but we'll see. But Twister, the first one. I remember watching this movie as a kid. This was one I didn't watch all the time. I remember watching it and I liked it at the time, but this was around the time when in like the 90s there was so many disaster movies. Like there was this one, I think there was like an earthquake film. I know there was Dante's Peak, which was the volcano one, and there was also another one just called Volcano. Like there's about natural disasters. And I gotta say, I rewatched this one a couple of months ago. My friend Calman watched it again last night. I actually really like it. I like how simple the story is. Joe, who's the lead character, who's basically the love interest, along with Bill Paxton, basically plays Bill, who's she's a meteorologist who chases tornadoes, and they were together at one point, got a divorce, and now he's going over to sign divorce papers. They create this thing called Dorothy, which is like this. It's supposed to study tornadoes, and it's supposed to like be improvised technology. That's for the future, and that can actually help with tornado. You know, studying tornadoes. And one thing I really like I said, is just how simple this movie is. There's not a lot to it. A lot of the film is just Joe and Bill trying to get back together. That's basically the whole plot of the film. The tornado stuff is fun, I think those scenes are great, especially the ending. Fun characters. I like pretty much all, even like the background characters. I thought they were fun. It was just a simple film. The effects, like the tornado effects, look pretty good. Pretty sad opening scene because you see young Joe, basically how she got her start on investigating tornadoes, because her father, who was trying to lock up one of the, because they go in this bunker, and he tries to lock it, but he ends up getting killed because of it, and which affects her obviously. And yeah, it's like I said, it's a very simple film. There's not a lot to it. There's not a lot to dissect. It's just them chasing tornadoes. You got Carrie Elways as the asshole former friend Jonas, who basically stole the idea for Dorothy and made it his own. So he's just there to be an asshole. I'll admit, there's not a in that sense. I will say there's not like really much to his character besides he's a douchebag. He's just there to be Bill's inspiration to get back into the investigating chasing tornadoes. And like I said, the bulk of the film is about Joe and Bill getting back together. Bill has a current girlfriend named what was her name? I'll be honest, I don't remember her name. She was an okay character. She's just there. She was just there to be the obviously the the obstacle of Bill and Joe getting back together. Janice. Okay, if it's something, it started with a J. I think it was like Janice or Janine or something. And yeah, she's just there to be like. I'll be honest, there's not much to her character. I do like the final act where they try to get the final tornado. That was pretty good. It's paced pretty well. Fun little soundtrack. It's a very 90s movie. I will say it is a very fucking 90s film. Like, came out in 96, so definitely enjoyed it. There is a fucking Twisters 2, which I don't like the idea, but I'm gonna watch it tonight. And like I said, I'm gonna go in very low expectations because I'm expecting this film to kind of suck. But if it's just like a dumb fun movie, I'll be honest, I'm not expecting much. If it's, I can respect that. Like the fact that he just came out and flat out said, no, we're not doing the climate change thing is kind of fun, surprising. I'm like surprised that he did because I'll be honest, that was one of the things I was thinking they were gonna go. But overall, I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm hoping to enjoy it for what it was. That's what I mean to say. I'm gonna watch it later today. Originally, I was gonna review it Friday, but I didn't realize. I guess it came out overseas, so that's probably why it's up pretty quick. So yeah, I plan on watching it tonight, and then depending on how tonight goes, maybe I'll review it tonight. But if not, I'll review it tomorrow in like the afternoon, probably about the same time as I'm doing this video. And then I'm gonna try to do the Descent tomorrow night. That'll be like the main review, and then I'll figure out what we'll do Friday. Maybe we'll do the OG Planet of the Apes, like I've been meaning to. It's just because I've moved away so far from those Planet of the Apes. I might just do those OG Planet of the Apes by themselves, and not just do the first one. I might just do like when I feel like going back and doing those. We'll just do the originals. Probably not this week though. I might find something else to watch, or I'll maybe even find like a topic to talk about. But other than that, obviously, Saturday, Pin Down Podcast. Pretty much from now on, that's gonna always be linked in the description of this video. But yeah, so this Saturday, Pin Down Podcast, I'll be on there. Anyways, let's get into Twister. Figure since I'm already gonna watch Twisters, why not review the original? Well, I guess really quick, I guess I'll give it a rating. I'd give it like a 8.5 out of 10. I had fun with it. I had fun with it. So the movie starts. We see Joe as a little girl in a tornado. Year's 1969. And her and her family go into a shelter for tornadoes, obviously, or you want to call it a bunker, whatever, to hide out there. But we had to let the dog in, and then the like gate was fiddling, so the door was potentially going to open. So the dad basically tried to like lock it in and stop, but the force of the tornado was too strong, and it basically lifted him and killed him. So we have a time jump. She is now a meteorologist. She chases tornadoes. The film gets started pretty quickly too. Like pretty much introduced with Bill and his girlfriend. I think it's Janine. I'm just gonna say I might be wrong, but I know it starts with a J. And obviously he's planning to go see Joe, who is his former wife, who they plan on getting divorced. I guess if I had a criticism, it's that. Why couldn't they just be together? Even in the 90s, Hollywood just for some reason loved doing those kind of stories where they always have to be broken up and then you have to try to bring them back together. I don't understand why. Like, there are times that doesn't need to happen. Like, I love this movie, but I felt like there were some points where I'm like, I'm gonna be honest. No, I think Bill and Joe had chemistry, but it's like the movie would have worked better if they were just already together, both chasing tornadoes. Why did you have to break them up, have them already divorced and introduce? Because I'm gonna be honest, the girlfriend he comes with, they have no chemistry, and I also felt like she was not needed in the movie. She felt out of place, and I think that's what they were going for, obviously, because she's like a weather woman. She works at at news, so she's not used to the tornado chasing stuff or to the storm chasers, because that's a real thing. She's not used to that, right? But it's almost like I didn't feel like you needed that. They could have you just have fucking Joe and Bill together already. I probably shouldn't be too mad about this. I'm not necessarily mad. It's just I am kind of tired of that trope with Hollywood sometimes. Like, You don't always have to have couples broken up just to get them back together. Just have them be together sometimes, you know? Especially because it's so telegraphed, you know? So that's my only thing. But once he gets with Joe, she shows that the Dorothy was this thing that he's gonna use. Shoots out these little things that basically it's able to study the inside of a tornado, because at least the movie, I don't know if in real life that was a thing, but at least in the movie they mentioned that up until that point no one has ever gotten any info about the inside of a tornado. So that was, but then we find out this is basically what gets Bill back involved, is Jonas, who I guess was a former business partner, goes on his own, got funding, and he basically stole the idea. He essentially stole it and had it as his own. And he has like all these fancy tech. I'll be honest, I like Carrie Elways. He was fun as the asshole character, but there's not much to his character besides being the asshole. But he's just there to be what causes Bill to come out of retirement and not focus about getting the divorce papers on. They eventually do, but obviously throughout the film, you know, Bill and Joe start loving each other again. That's why I'm just going to go back to this point really quick. They should have just been together already. 'Cause stuff like that is just so predictable, and sometimes you don't need to do that, you know. But they have their first case. They try the Dorothy, obviously, so it didn't work at first. And that's when Jonas shows up, and I love how, I'll admit, I do like that the group feels like they've known each other. They does feel like they have known each other for a long time. Like, it doesn't just feel like they just there's no like, oh, these guys are just put together to make it seem. No, they actually feel like they've worked together for a long time. Like, they have that rapport with each other. Like, these guys feel like they're actually friends. Same with I'll admit, Bill and Joe. They have that chemistry. You feel like they actually feel like a couple, you know. And obviously they go back to her, how she lives with her aunt Jen, you know, obviously since her dad's death. So she reveals obviously how her dad's death affected her to Bill later on in the film. And yeah, I recommend this movie. I mean, I'll admit, disaster movies are not probably my favorite, because if I had to go disaster movie or monster movie, I'm probably watching monster movie. I'd rather see a monster destroy a city than just a natural disaster. Sometimes those movies can be fun, don't be wrong. I enjoyed Dante's Peak. I enjoyed this movie. But it's, you know, even though it's not the greatest movie in the world, the one with The Rock, San Andreas, I didn't necessarily hate that film. You know, I'm okay with disaster movies, but they're not my go-to. I'd rather just watch a monster destroy a city than like a store, you know. But I will say this one was fun. It just knew how to, like, it goes. You're not bored. I'm gonna say it again. Very 90s. There's a lot of 90s moments in this movie, especially the soundtrack. Also, I love the tornado scenes. Like, it was simple. They didn't overcomplicate it with the tornadoes. You know, they talked about the different categories. And then I'm gonna say it. This movie, if you're like someone who actually not likes tornadoes, but you want to study tornadoes, this movie, even though it is a Hollywood movie, so probably not everything's uber factual, but I do like how it does make you feel like it gives you a lot of information about tornadoes. Like, it is a learning movie in that sense. It is kind of educational. So I'm just gonna jump ahead to the final act. They managed to get the Dorothy 4, which is the later updated version they made. Throughout the film, obviously, Bill and Joe reconcile. Even Bill's girlfriend, she breaks up with him, basically saying, "Get back with Joe. You clearly still love each other." So they managed. We get the last tornado kind of section, kills a couple of the members, but it's a pretty fun sequence, man. Like, it's fun to watch. Obviously, it's a tornado film. There's only so much you can do, right? But it was fun. You have fun characters. Jonas, like I said, he kind of just disappears. I think his shit gets destroyed or something like that. Obviously, he's the bad guy. Well, not the bad guy, but he's like a dick. And then, obviously, they survive. And then, towards the end, Bill and Joe get back together. Film ends. I like it. It's a fun film. It's simple. It knows what it is. It's a disaster film from the 90s. You have a fun enough cast. I like the tornado scenes. It's all I could really say. I kind of figured this video wasn't going to be uber long. It's a tornado movie. There's not really much to talk about. But yeah, I recommend Twister. I mean, if you've not seen it, it's not one I say you would probably like absolutely need to watch, but I definitely think it's fun. Bill Paxton and I think it's Helen Hunt who's Joe. She's pretty good. Fun little background cast. I think one of the actors I recognize from Speed, he was in it. Fun little group. Carrie Elways, even though he's not in it a lot, was pretty fun in it. So I overall like this movie. But anyways, guys, the plan is I'm gonna watch Twisters tonight or at some point today, and tomorrow night or tomorrow morning. It should be tomorrow afternoon or maybe late morning, depending on how long work goes. I will be doing my review of Twisters or rant. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not expecting it to be good because they've even doing the like constant monitor thing. But this time there's two, or this time it's bigger. They're doing that kind of shit. We got a tornado, but there's two of them this time. Like I think that shit's kind of cringe. But if Glenn Powell and I can't remember the actress's name who's the lead, secondary lead. If they're decent enough and they have a good enough vibe, I like Glenn Powell in most movies. So if I can have fun watching him, I'll mostly be okay. I'm not expecting an amazing film. It probably won't be as good as the first Twister movie. But if it's just a dumb, fun disaster film, I'll be okay. So I'll be watching that tomorrow. I'm going in with low expectations, so who knows? Maybe that might actually help if I go in with low expectations. Like I said, I wasn't expecting this to be good. So we'll be watching it tonight, and I should be reviewing it tomorrow. Other than that, guys, Twister was fun. I definitely recommend it. Saturday, like I said, the Pin Down podcast, I will be on there, giving my thoughts on the latest wrestling news. We'll be talking Raw, SmackDown, and unfortunately, AEW Dynamite. So I actually have to also watch that tonight. Fuck. So I'll be watching, potentially, who knows if Twisters will be bad or not, but I have to watch that and then also watch AEW. So, anyways, like, end it here. Alright, y'all. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Twister is pretty good. Talk to y'all later. Peace.